The sensation you feel when you read a headline about artificial intelligence is not a personal failure, nor is it a lack of technical understanding. It is a physical reaction. It is that cold, sharp knot of anxiety in the pit of the stomach, a primitive instinct telling you that the world is shifting beneath your feet and that something dangerous is lurking just beyond the digital horizon. For the small business owner, the retired professional, or the craftsman, this feeling is often dismissed as being out of touch. But I'm here to tell you that your anxiety is not a sign of your obsolescence. It is, quite literally, a manufactured product. You are not failing to adapt to a new world. You are being expertly manipulated by an old one. To understand why artificial intelligence feels so threatening, we must first look at our own biology. For the vast majority of human history, our survival depended on a very specific type of hypervigilance. We are the descendants of the people who heard a rustle in the tall grass and assumed it was a predator, not just the wind. Those who ignored the rustle did not live long enough to become our ancestors. We are hardwired by hundreds of thousands of years of evolution to prioritize news of danger over news of safety. In the prehistoric world, this was a life-saving feature. In the modern world, it is a vulnerability that has been weaponized. We currently live in what economists call the attention economy, and within this system, your fear is the most valuable commodity on Earth. Consider the landscape of the modern Internet. We have achieved a feat that would have seemed miraculous to our grandparents. We have made information infinite. Every book, every data point, and every news story is available at the touch of a button. However, in a world of infinite information, the only thing that remains scarce is human attention. There are only 24 hours in a day, and there is only one of you. For the global media giants and social media platforms, your attention is the raw material they sell to advertisers. If you are calm, if you are focused on your work, or if you are enjoying a quiet afternoon in the garden, you are of no value to them. To make a profit, they must pull you away from your life and back to the screen. They do this by hacking your evolutionary biology. They trigger that ancient alarm bell in your brain, the rustle in the bushes, over and over again. Artificial intelligence is, quite simply, the greatest rustle in the bushes the media has ever found. It is the perfect bogeyman for the attention market because it possesses 3 specific qualities that generate frantic, profitable clicks. It is invisible, it is complex, and it is moving at a speed that feels uncomfortable to the human pace of life. When a journalist writes about artificial intelligence, they have 2 choices. They could write a nuanced, sober report on how a new software tool can take a master carpenter's year of messy, fragmented workshop sketches and transform them into a flawless, actionable business plan in mere seconds. But that story is quiet. It does not trigger your survival instinct. It does not make you click. The second choice is to lean into the tropes we have all been fed by decades of Hollywood cinema. They speak of rogue machines, digital takeovers, and the end of work. They treat a mathematical tool as if it were a conscious, malevolent entity. This is not journalism. It is the commodification of hysteria. By framing a piece of software as a sci-fi monster, they ensure that your heart rate rises, your thumb taps the link, and their advertising revenue increases. We must call this what it is: visual pollution. Just as the factories of the Industrial Revolution soot stained the air of our cities, the attention economy is staining our mental landscape. It creates a state of permanent digital exhaustion. You are being bombarded with breaking news about technologies that do not yet exist, or threats that are mathematically impossible, or to keep you trapped in a cycle of outrage and apprehension. If you are a professional, a tradesperson, or an entrepreneur, this constant noise is theft. It steals the mental clarity you need to run your business. It steals the peace of mind you have earned through decades of labor. The narrative that artificial intelligence is a sentient force coming to usurp your humanity is a myth sold to you by people who profit from your distraction. So, how do we dismantle this? How do we find the cure for this systemic burnout? The answer is found in a return to grounded reality. We must take the technology off the pedestal of science fiction and put it where it belongs, on the workbench. When you look at artificial intelligence through the lens of utility rather than the lens of the news cycle, the monster disappears. What remains is a set of gears and bolts. It is a calculator that can process language. It is a filing clerk that never sleeps. It is a tool for the orchestration of information. The media wants you to believe that artificial intelligence is an autonomous god. The reality is that it is agentic. It is a doer that requires a commander. It is a sophisticated hammer, but it still needs a carpenter to decide where the nail should go. The most rebellious act you can perform in the modern age is to starve the attention market of your fear. You do this by stepping away from the hysterical headlines and focusing on the functional, often quite mundane reality of how these tools actually work. When you stop looking at the flashing "end of days" banners and start looking at how a simple bit of software can automate your invoicing, or how it can help you research a complex topic in seconds, the anxiety begins to evaporate. You realize there is no monster in the machine. There is only a new type of lever. This is the shift from being a victim of the digital age to becoming an orchestrator of it. Throughout history, every major technological leap has felt like a crisis while it was happening. The printing press was seen as a threat to the social order. The steam engine was viewed as a demonic contraption that would destroy the soul of the worker. In every instance, the people who flourished were not those who hid from the change, nor those who bought into the hysteria. They were the ones who calmly picked up the new tools and asked, "How can this serve my craft?" By mastering the skill set of orchestration, you are reclaiming your stolen time. You are offloading the mind-numbing administrative tasks, the digital busywork that has cluttered our lives since the birth of the Internet, to these new agentic tools. When a small business owner uses artificial intelligence to handle their scheduling, data entry, or basic correspondence, they are not being replaced, they are being freed. They are freed to return to their original calling. The artisan can focus on the wood and the stone. The professional can focus on the client and the strategy. The entrepreneur can focus on the vision. We are moving toward a period where we can finally stop being weary data processors at the mercy of global tech platforms and return to being creators. We are standing at the threshold of a new human renaissance. But to enter it, we must first clear the fog of the attention economy. We must recognize that the 24/7 news cycle is not a source of truth, but a business model built on the harvesting of human anxiety. The path forward is one of stoic, factual reality. We do not need to be tech evangelists shouting from the rooftops about a utopian future, nor do we need to be Luddites cowering from a dystopian one. We simply need to be practical. We need to look at these tools with the same discerning eye we would use for any other piece of equipment in our professional toolkit. Artificial intelligence is the exact tool required to push us through the current friction of our cluttered digital lives and into a new era of productivity and personal freedom. But that only happens if we put the levers in the hands of the everyday person. It only happens when the late majority decides that they will no longer be the product of the attention market, but the masters of their own digital domain. This channel and the work we do here at Tactable Intelligence is designed to be your sanctuary from the noise. We are here to provide the filter, to take the complex, the high speed, and the invisible and lay it out on the table so you can see it for what it truly is. We are chroniclers of this transition, and we are here to ensure that you have the gravity and the historical context to navigate it with dignity. If you find yourself exhausted by the visual pollution of the modern web, if you are tired of being told to fear the future by people who are simply trying to sell you an advertisement, then I invite you to join us. By subscribing to this channel, you are choosing to build your 21st century toolkit in a space defined by calm, authoritative education rather than frantic speculation. You are choosing to join a community of orchestrators who value substance over spectacle. Furthermore, if you wish to go deeper into the philosophy of reclaiming your focus, I have curated a further reading list in the description below. These are not technical manuals, but deeply researched, accessible works on digital minimalism and the mechanics of the media. They are essential maps for anyone looking to navigate the attention market without losing their peace of mind. The rustle in the bushes is not a predator. It is merely the sound of the world changing. It is time we stop running and start building. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to the journey ahead.